Hello my dear students, I am Professor Abbas Ali Nandolia. By qualification I am Chartered Accountant, and my dear students, in this wonderful rapid revision for November 2021 Inter-CA exam, we will continue with the accountancy subject, and in that our topic of discussion is, you can see on the screen, investment accounts. Yes, my dear students, if you pay your attention over the revision, you will get surely in the exam 8 to 10. In the exam, you will get 8 to 10. Okay, so the topic is very important, my dear students, and please pay your full attention over the revision. We will revise entire chapter in 4 parts. What is the meaning of investment? Then what are the various types? How to recognize, and the last one, valuation of investment. If you pay your attention over these 4 points, it's my guarantee, no need to revise even a single sum. Okay, so starting with the meaning part, as per accounting standard number 13, investment, they are assets held for 2 purposes. Number 1, earning income. Number 2, capital appreciation. Sir, earning income means by way of dividend and by way of interest you will get your income. Sir, what is the meaning of capital appreciation? Now, to give you better clarity over both the concept, let me take a simple example. See on the screen. On 1st April 2021, Mr. A purchases, let's say, 1000 shares of X Limited at 110 per share, whose face value is 100. After 1 year, X Limited declared 10% dividend, and the market price after 1 year is 130. So my dear students, tell me, what is the face value of the equity shares? Sir, 1000 equity shares you acquired and the face value is 100. That is 1 lakh rupees. And how much I have paid for acquisition? So my cost is, for 1000 equity shares, 110, that is 1,10,000 is my cost. And now my dear students, when you will draft the balance sheet of Mr. A, please try and understand, Mr. A will recognize the investment on asset side at what price? Investment will be recognized at the amount paid by the investor, that is 1,10,000. And if you want to write the face value, you can write in the bracket, that's it. So please remove the misconception from your mind. Investment should be recognized at face value. It should be recognized at the price paid for it, 1,10,000 rupees. Now, after purchasing the investment, you have acquired on 1st April 2021 and year end is 31st March 22. When you acquired, at that time the market price was 110, and after 1 year the market price is 130. So please observe, 110 to 130, there is increase of 20 per share, and these shares are still available with you, my dear students. So total number of shares 1000, and for each share 20 rupees is the increase hike. So 20,000 is the total capital appreciation. Total capital appreciation. So my dear students, you have acquired at 110. By the end of the year, the price is 130 in the market. So your total capital appreciation is 20,000 rupees. At the year end, even company paid dividend. A small clarity, many a time student says that dividend will be given on face value, but actually speaking it should be paid on paid up value, my dear students, very important. Now sir, then why everybody says face value, face value? Most of the time in your question, face value is equals to paid up value, and therefore they used to say face value, but technically speaking the answer should be dividend will be given on face value or paid up value? Paid up value. Okay, so in my case, even face value is 100, that much is the paid up amount in the absence of information. So total face value is 1 lakh rupees and the dividend is 10% given by company. So the answer is 10,000. So my dear students, we have acquired investment by making payment of 1,10,000 rupees whose face value is 1 lakh. At the year end, I will get dividend amount of rupees 10,000. So why I had acquired the investment? For earning income by way of dividend rupees 10,000. And the second objective is what? For capital appreciation. When I acquired the share, at that time the cost was 1,10,000, but now after 1 year my investment value is 1,30,000. that is increase of 20,000. that is known as what? Capital appreciation. I hope the meaning is clear in your mind. Now the next second point of discussion is types. Two parts in that. Number one, based on nature. It can be divided into two: current investment, non-current investment. Sir, what is the meaning of current investment? It simply means short term investment. Clear? And sir, what is the meaning of non-current investment? It simply means long term investment. Clear? Sir, what is the exact difference between short term and long term? My dear students, short term means what? The intention to hold the investment is up to 1 year. If the intention to hold the investment up to 1 year, then it is current investment, is as good as short term investment. But if the intention is to hold for more than 1 year, then it will be treated as what? Non-current, or you can say long term investment. Okay. One more bifurcation you can do based on income: fixed income bearing securities and variable income bearing securities. Okay. Sir, what is the meaning of fixed income bearing securities? Regular income we will receive at the regular interval. Then what is the meaning of, sir, variable income bearing securities? Simple. No regular income, no constant income. Correct. This year we have received 10%. Next year company may declare 20%. Next year company may declare 50%. It completely dependent on performance of the company. Is it clear? So fixed income means what? Regular income, regular interval. Variable income means what? No constant income. How much we will receive, we don't know. Example of fixed income bearing security you can see on the screen: 12% government bond and 10% debentures. Wherever the rate of interest is given, they are fixed income bearing security. And variable income bearing security, investment in equity shares. How much dividend we will receive, that we don't know. It is completely dependent on company, that how much company would like to give based on performance of the company. Okay. Now the important part, sir, in exam what kind of questions we will get? So my dear students, in your exam you will get some based on current investment. You will get 1 year accounting in the investment accounts. Okay, 1 year accounting. 1 year accounting, in that purchase sale transactions will be given. So they will give you 1 year accounting, that is current investment sum plus fixed income bearing security. It means current investment along with fixed income bearing securities, and current investment along with variable income bearing securities. So in your exam two types of question can come. Number one, current investment plus fixed income bearing securities. For this you can refer JKSC question 1, 2, 3, 4 of classwork. So those who are JK Shah classes students, they are having the material and they can refer to it. And if non-JKSC students are there, don't worry my dear students, even you are having some stuff because the topic you have already studied. So just check it out, what are the various questions based on fixed income bearing securities, and pay your attention over the revision lecture. Okay. Second category is what? You will get in the exam some based on current investment along with variable income bearing securities. For this you can refer JKSC question number 5 of classwork and you will get complete clarity. But don't worry, even the non-JKSC students, you will get everything, because now onwards I will discuss the examples and your conceptual clarity would be there. Is it clear? So second point is what? Types of investment. After this, now you are clear with two things. Sir, in the exam, either we will get some based on current investment along with fixed income bearing security, or current investment along with variable income bearing security. Sir, we will not get some based on non-current. No, in the investment accounts chapter, you will not get based on long term. Maybe in accounting standard the question they will ask, but in investment accounts chapter for 8 to 10 marks they will ask for 1 year accounting, that is current investment sum. Okay. Now after discussing meaning and the types, third, beautiful, important, for everybody this is important, for JK Shah classes students, for non-JKSC students, here you will get conceptual clarity how to record the transaction in investment account. See, everybody knows how to draft the investment account. Am I here to teach you how to draft the investment account? Sir, that we already know. You just discuss, sir, the important and the tricky adjustment and the areas which we should keep in mind one day before the exam, so that we can clear our exam with the flying colors. And yes, for that you have to pay your attention over recognition of investment. My dear children, investment should be recognized at simple cost. Investment should be recognized at cost. Sir, take the example and explain. Yes, children, as you say, number A. Can I say there are two types of securities? Fixed income bearing security, variable income bearing security. First, we will discuss important areas in fixed income bearing security. So, A part. In case of fixed income bearing security, I have written example on the screen. Please check. On 1st March 2021, Mr. A purchased 1000, or yeah, I will write 1000 here. On 1st March 2021, Mr. A purchased from Mr. B 1012% government bond. What I am saying, 1012% government bond at 98x interest. Sir, this is the difficult area. We don't know how to deal with the X interest and cum interest. And yes, the revision lecture is for you. So my dear students, Mr. A purchased 1012% government bond at 98x interest, whose face value is 100. Government duly paid interest on 30th September and 31st March. Recognize the transaction. Sir, what is the meaning of X interest? My dear children, X interest means excluding interest. Sir, it means what? Excluding interest means what, children? Price given in question. Price given in question represents cost only. Cost only. Sir, what this mean? Simple. Whenever you will go in the market to purchase fixed income bearing securities, you have to make payment for two things. You have to make payment for, number one, towards cost you have to pay, and number second, towards interest you have to pay. Sir, why? See on the screen. Preparing one timeline. On timeline, my accounting year is 1st March 20 to 31st March 21. Okay. Government duly paid interest on two dates, 30th September, 31st March. So here 30th September 20 and this is 31st March. Okay. They are the interest due date. Clear, children? Okay, now I will use different pen and I will write one point. My dear students, government will pay interest. Government will pay interest. To whom interest will be paid? Government will pay interest to holder of investment. To holder of investment, the fellow who is holding the investment, he will get interest. So simple. Tell me, in my example, when Mr. A purchased 1st March 21, so 1st March 21, Mr. A purchased, use your little brain and answer. Mr. A purchased on 1st March and thereafter he is owner. So before the date of purchase, who was owner? Mr. A acquired from Mr. B. So can I say from 1st March to 30th September, Mr. B was owner. Then from 30th September to 1st March, again Mr. B was owner. And after the date of purchase, can I say Mr. A is owner? Any worry to anyone? No sir. Till time everything is clear. Tell me, use your brain again. Government will pay interest to whom? The fellow who is holding the investment. So on 30th September, who is holder of the investment? Can I say Mr. B holding investment? Agreed with me? So who will get interest? Logically Mr. B, and Mr. B is satisfied. But tell me, on 31st March, Mr. A is holder. I hope you are agreed with me, because on 1st March we acquired and thereafter who is holder? Mr. A. Government will pay entire 6-month interest to whom? Mr. A. But tell me dear students, whether Mr. A should get entire 6-month interest? No sir. Because he was owner for only 1 month, and for 5 months interest must be given to Mr. B, who was holding the security. Yes or no? And therefore when Mr. A will purchase investment from the market, can I say he will make payment for 2 things. Number 1, for cost of the investment, and number 2, he will make payment for interest as well to compensate Mr. B for 5 months holding. And therefore writing very important second point, Mr. A will pay for 2 things when fixed income bearing securities is purchased. The 2 things are cost of the investment and number 2, interest. Simple children. When you will acquire on 1st March, can I say Mr. B will ask for cost of the investment, and even Mr. B will say I was the holder for 5 months. Government will give you 6-month interest. So you just pay me 5 months interest. Correct? So we have to pay cost, we have to pay interest. Now tell me then. The price given in question is X interest. Now use your brain. 98 is X interest excluding interest. It means the price represents cost, and therefore separately interest we have to calculate. Okay. So students, I am passing first entry on 1st March 21. When I am purchasing the investment by paying 98 rupees. Tell me, when you will acquire investment, your entry would be investment account debit to cash bank account. How many government bonds you have acquired? 1000 bonds, and for each bond you are paying how much? 98. So your cost is how much? 98,000. Okay, being cost of investment paid to Mr. B. Clear? But along with the cost, Mr. B will ask for. Mr. B will ask for. Can I say Mr. B will say, oh, please give me 5 months interest. That is 30th September to 1st March, October, November, December, Jan, Feb. End of Feb is as good as starting of March. He will ask for 5-month interest, and yes, logically we have to pay 5-month interest as well. So on 1st March 21, tell me when you will pay interest. Interest is your expense because you are paying. So interest is an expense. Interest account, which is your expense, debit, and cash bank goes out. How much interest you will pay? Sir, interest will be given on face value. So 1000 bonds, 100 rupees is the face value. So the total face value is 1 lakh. On 1 lakh, 12% is the rate. We will compensate for only 5 months. So my dear students, 1 lakh into 12% for 5 months. 5000 is the answer. So tell me how much Mr. A will pay in the market? Sir, 98,000 for cost and 5,000 rupees for interest, because Mr. B was holder for 5 months and logically he should get this amount from Mr. A. Yes. Now 31st March 21 will come. Tell me students, 31st March came. Government will pay interest to whom? Holder of the investment. And who is holder on 31st March? Mr. A. So Mr. A will get amount, cash bank account, debit to interest. Now this time interest is income for Mr. A. Tell me, this will be received on face value. So 1000 bond, 100 is the face value, 12% is the rate. For how many months government will pay interest? For 6 months, because in a year 2 times government pays interest at the interval of 6 months. So this time 6-month interest. So on 1 lakh, 12% for 6 months comes to 6,000 rupees. Now take the conclusion. Take the conclusion. Therefore, net interest for Mr. A, can I say 6,000 rupees received from the government? But out of that 5,000 rupees paid to Mr. B, and therefore net income belongs to Mr. A, which will go in interest column, and finally PL, that is only 1,000 rupees. Clear, my dear students? So with the help of example number 1, we have cleared how to deal with the X interest. If question says X interest excluding interest, the price represents cost only. Separately we have to calculate interest. One simple note I will write for you. Note: in the exam, if no information is given, whether it's X interest or cum interest, always assume X interest price only. So my dear students, sometimes they will say only purchased at 98. Now student is in biggest dilemma in the exam. Oh my God, now what I will do? So if nothing is given, then the price represents X interest price, that is cost. Separately you have to calculate interest. Clear, my dear students? So example 1 for X interest price. Example 2, same example 1, but instead of 98 X interest, we will consider 98 cum interest. Now sir, what is the meaning of cum interest? Cum interest means cumulative effect of interest. Cumulative effect of interest, that is the given price in question includes element of interest. If the price includes element of interest, then divide into 2. Interest is how much and cost is how much. Cost means what? X interest price. Clear? So if the price is cum interest, price includes interest, divide into 2. Interest is how much? Cost is how much? Okay. So in my example, my dear students, please check. Investment amount, total investment amount. We acquired 1000 bonds, multiplied by, we paid 98 rupees. It means, can I say 98,000? This represents cum interest price. Use your brain, tell me. Cum interest price means cumulative effect of interest. It includes interest, and therefore 98,000 we have to divide into 2. Interest is how much and excluding interest is how much, that is cost is how much. Tell me, we have already calculated the interest. That is, when you will go in the market and you will purchase from B, so on 1000 bond at the rate of 100 face value, 12%, you will pay for 5 months 5,000 interest. So you are paying 98,000 rupees and you are saying this includes interest. So 98 minus 5 towards cost, you are paying how much? 93,000. Clear? And therefore what entry you will pass when you will acquire the investment on 1st March 21? Your investment cost, investment account debit 93,000. Always remember, investment should be recognized at cost. Additionally, you are paying interest. So interest is an expense 5,000, and from my bank account cash bank goes out 98,000. So my dear students, when cum interest price is given, so from your bank account 98,000 goes out, which includes 5,000 rupees interest and remaining for cost. Okay. Now on 31st March 21, government will pay interest to you. So you will get amount in your bank account, cash bank comes in debit to interest account. Can I say government will give interest on 1000 bonds? 100 is the face value, 12% is the rate. Can I say for 6 months government will pay 6,000 rupees? So you will get it from the government 6,000. Out of that 5,000 you have paid it to Mr. B at the time of acquisition. Therefore, net interest income for Mr. A, 6,000 received, 5,000 paid, 1,000 is interest income. Something important. In both the examples, interest income for Mr. A is 1,000 only. But what is the difference? Cost of the investment. In example number 1, 98,000 is the cost, and in example number 2, 93,000 is the cost. This is because both the examples are exactly same, except in example 1, 98 is X interest price, and in example 2, 98 is cum interest price. So my dear students, even you know this fact, when fixed income bearing security comes in the exam, just take care whether the price is cum interest price or X interest price, and the concept we have already cleared with the help of example 1 and example 2. I hope you are satisfied. Okay children, now this is all about fixed income bearing security. Second part, what you will do when the sum is based on variable income bearing security. The master sum I have prepared for you, the master sum. If you pay your attention over the whole sum, 100% guarantee students. No need to refer any other thing, just refer this much, that's it. Okay. Just check my question, how you will recognize everything when the security is variable income. Example, Mr. A purchased something, then bonus point is there, then right share point is there, then dividend of last year is there, then interim dividend is there, then sale transaction is there, and final some market price is given for valuation purpose. Okay, for valuation purpose. So my dear students, starting with, sir, here any concept like X interest, cum interest, X dividend, no, nothing like that. The simplicity is there. Check your first transaction. You have acquired 1000 equity shares at rupees 15 whose face value is 10, 1st April 20. So first transaction I am writing purchase on 1st April 12. Simple. Tell me, what is the cost 1000 equity you have acquired by making payment of 15 rupees? So your cost is 15,000. What is the face value, my dear students? Same 1000 equity, but the face value is 10, that is 10,000. But tell me what entry you will pass when the investment in equity shares made. So your entry would be investment account debit, cost of the investment 15,000. Always remember, investment will be recognized at cost to cash bank account, the amount which you paid from the bank account. So now you already know how to prepare the ledger in case of investment account. Is it clear? You know that. But what you will write, that I am discussing. Correct. So investment account debit side, you have to write to cash bank in the bracket purchase, write down the face value and write down the amount, that is cost. Second point, regarding bonus. Sir, what we will do with the bonus? Just check here. On 1st June 21, bonus given by company in 1:2 ratio. So 1st June, bonus on 1st June 2021. So here as well it is not 12, it is 21. Tell me bonus. Simple calculation. Bonus held. The ratio is 1:2. Tell me how many shares you are holding when the bonus shares declared. Can I say total 1000 shares you are holding? Because 1000 shares you had acquired on 1st April. So if you are holding 1000 equity, for how many shares you are entitled? 500 equity. What is the face value of this equity per share? 10. So the total face value 5000. Students, just tell me, you will make any payment for bonus shares? No, sir. And therefore, can I say cost of bonus 0, nil. And hence, how you will record in the investment account then? Investment account debit side, just write down 2 bonus. In the face value, write down 5000 rupees. In the amount column, put dash because the cost is 0. Because they are bonus shares. Correct. Third important point, discussing right issue. Discussing right issue. Check on the screen, please. Over here, on 1st August 21, right shares offered. The ratio, okay, 1:3. Over here, I am making changes, writing half. Please check on the screen. On 1st August 21, some right shares given in the ratio 1:3. Payment date being 31st August 21. Sir, we are every time confused between two dates in the right share case. Please understand. What is the meaning of these two dates? 1st August is date of communication. Can I say if you are holding certain number of shares, it means you are loyal customers, you are loyal shareholders of the company. So company will offer some shares at a price lower than existing market price. Okay. So company will inform, hello shareholder, You are holding some shares and we are offering some right shares to you. Would you like to purchase? Shareholders will reply, please give us some times for taking decision, correct? So in my example, 1st August is date of communication. Then 1 month time I will give to you for taking the decision. If you want to purchase, make payment on 31st August 21. So can I write like this? In right issue, 2 dates comes. One is a date of communication. In my example, it is 1st August 21 and second is date of payment. In my example, it is 31st August 21. Correct? For me, the payment date is important, not the communication date. Clear? Now, in my example, the ratio is 1:3. So, right and held, tell me how many shares? 1:3 is the ratio. How many shares now I am holding? Can I say 1000 shares purchased? 500 bonus. So, total how many shares now I am holding? 1500 equity shares. How many right shares I am entitled for? 500 equity shares. Is it clear? But check the question, my dear students, very important. Half right, see here, half right transferred by A in favor of B for 2 rupees. I don't want to purchase entire 500 shares and hence I have taken decision to transfer some of the right in favor of my friend Mr. B. Use your brain. I will transfer my rights to somebody else for free of cost. Absolutely not. I will charge some nominal amount and that is amount of rupees 2. So please on the screen, I am entitled for 500 but out of this half right transferred and half purchased. Tell me, it means 250 equity shares. I am transferring the right of 250 in favor of Mr. B. I will charge 2 rupees. So I will get rupees 500. This 500 is your income. This will be transferred to profit and loss account. With this amount, investment account would not be affected. Is it clear? One more time. Out of 500, 250 shares, right, I am transferring to somebody. I will charge some amount that will be treated as my revenue income, which will go in profit and loss. Investment account would not be affected. Remaining 250 equity shares I will purchase, and just check the example. They are saying pay 12 rupees and get it. So I will pay 12 rupees per share. So 250 into 12, 3000 rupees I have to pay. So I am making payment of 3000 and I am getting 250 shares. So the entry would be investment account debit to cash bank account. Is it clear? So whenever the right adjustment comes in the exam, check. If you are transferring something that will not affect your investment, it will go in PL. And if you are purchasing right shares, then it is as good as investment in the shares, investment to cash bank. So right share concept is over. Now the fourth point, dividend of last year 2021, very important. Just check once. This one. Dividend for financial year 2021 declared and paid on 30th September 21 at 10%. So my dear students on the screen, received on 30th September 21. Who will receive on 30th September? By Mr. A only, that is investor. But after getting the dividend, what to do now? That is important. So always remember how to deal with the last year dividend. Prepare a simple table like on the screen. Particulars, dividend ratio of pre is to post, then pre acquisition dividend, and final post acquisition dividend. Carefully tell me, you are holding some shares. What you are holding, tell me. Purchase 1000 equity shares, bonus 500 shares, and right shares 250. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Now you are getting the dividend. Tell me. Number one, you are having some purchased shares when you had acquired on 1st April 21. Is the thing clear? How many shares you had acquired? 1000 equity, face value is 10. That is total face value is 10,000. Correct. On that company will pay 10%, which is nothing but 1000. 10,000 into 10%, that is 1000. Now my question to you all, this 1000 dividend, belongs to last year. This 1000 dividend belongs to, tell me my dear students, this 1000 belongs to last year, that is financial year 2021. In last year, whether you were owner, in the last year you were owner for this 1000 shares. Sir, no, we were not the owner in the last year because we had acquired this 1000 shares in the current year on 1st April 2021. So the shares were with somebody else. Somebody else. So in the last year somebody else was owner, not Mr. A. But Mr. A is getting the dividend for that period in which somebody else was owner. Is it clear? Now that dividend will be treated as pre-acquisition dividend. Before acquisition period, if you receive any dividend for that particular period, that will be treated as pre-acquisition dividend. So tell me my dear students, this 1000 belongs to last year. In the last year you were not owner, somebody else was owner. So entire 12-month pre-period and 0 month in the post period. So this entire 1000 will be treated as pre-acquisition dividend, and in the post acquisition, after you became owner, company has not yet declared any dividend, so nil. Second part, what about bonus and what about rights? Sir, whether we'll get any dividend on bonus shares and right shares? Whether we'll get last year dividend on this? No. Can I say no dividend for last year? Because no dividend for last year because they were not there in last year. They are fresh shares issued in current year 21 22. Getting my point? Tell me, bonus and right shares we have issued in current year. Very newborn baby. The baby was not there in the last year, and hence last year interest will not be given on bonus and rights. Correct? So now your total dividend amount is pre-acquisition 1000. This is nil. Dear students, pre-acquisition, you were not owner, therefore it is your capital receipt. This is your capital receipt. Since this is capital receipt, it should be adjusted against cost of investment. Cost of investment. So your journal entry for this would be, sir, Mr. A will get amount. Yes, but that will not be credited to dividend. It will be credited to investment account, because this is pre-acquisition dividend. Capital receipt should be adjusted against cost. What if we get post-acquisition dividend? This is revenue receipt. That is, after becoming owner, I received the dividend for the period in which I was owner. So it is revenue income, revenue receipt, and the entry would be cash bank to dividend. Cash bank to dividend. So I hope the whole concept is clear. Sir, if it is pre-acquisition dividend, then capital receipt, somebody else was owner, and post acquisition dividend, I was owner. Now one more example I will take from the JK Shah classes material. If you see example on the screen, second one, simple, please check. On 1st April 2020, B had, this should be 25,000 equity, face value is 10, purchased at 20. On 1st October 2019, something important. Mr. B had, it means, can I say this is opening balance? Mr. B had 25,000 equity shares. It means this is the opening balance. But these shares were acquired in the last year on which date? 1st October 2019. Correct? Then again they purchased during the current year 5,000 shares. Then some bonus shares given, some right shares given during the current year. Now please check. Dividend declared by the company for 31st March 2020, that is financial year 2020. This is last year. Wonderful sum. Pay your attention. Dividend rate is 20%. Tell me, dividend is given for last year 2020. Last year 1920. Tell me, opening balance. Please, first on the screen, opening balance. We are having 25,000 shares. 10 rupees is the face value. So total face value 2,50,000. On that 20%, we will get 50,000. This is the dividend on opening shares. But tell me this opening shares we had acquired on 1st October 19 in the last year. So tell me, we were owner in the last year? Yes, we were. But from which date? 1st October to 31st March 20. We were owner for only 6 months. And from 1st April to 1st October, somebody else was owner. And therefore, this 50,000 divided in pre and post, in which ratio 1:1, that is 6 months is to 6 months. Clear? So this 25,000 dividend I am getting, but for the period in which I was not owner, and therefore this is capital receipt. And this 25,000 I am getting in which I was owner, and therefore this is revenue receipt. Is it clear? Okay. What about purchase? Purchase is we acquired in current year only. We got these shares in the current year only. In the last year they were available with somebody else, and therefore entire dividend will be treated as pre. Sir, what about bonus and rights? On bonus and rights, no dividend will be given because they are newborn baby in the current year. The baby was not there in the last year, hence no dividend for the last year. Is it clear? I hope two examples I have taken. Non-JKSC students can take the screenshot of this and they can understand this. Okay. So my dear students, even the dividend point is clear with respect to last year. So fourth point done. Now fifth point, interim dividend. Interim dividend. What is the meaning of interim dividend? It means current year's dividend. Current year's dividend. In middle of the year, company will give some portion of the dividend and rest of the dividend company will give at the end of the year. So this is effectively current year's dividend, a proportionate dividend you can say. Always interim dividend transferred to dividend column. Transferred to dividend column. So please calculate, sir, how much interim dividend you will get in this sum. First check the adjustment. Check the adjustment. Interim dividend 5%. Use your brain again, children. Tell me, I am having total 1000 equity shares purchased, 500 bonus, 250 right shares I had acquired, so that I have. So 1000 purchase, 500 bonus, 250 right shares now I am having. So total how many shares I have? 1750 total equity shares. What is the face value? 17,500. On that I will get 5%. This is the face value. This is dividend rate. So 5% comes to 875. So I will get interim dividend, that is current year's dividend, on purchased shares, bonus and rights, and this is current year dividend. In current year I am holder of this investment, I am owner, and therefore the entire dividend which I will receive, cash bank debit, will be transferred to dividend column 875. Correct? So if you find interim word in the exam, straight away calculate the dividend on all the shares including bonus and right, provided if specifically given in the question on right shares interim dividend should not be given, then don't calculate on the right shares. Such wordings you will get in the exam, okay? But in the absence of information on all the shares including bonus and right, calculate the interim dividend and it will be transferred to dividend column. Okay. So there is no worry with respect to interim dividend. It is your revenue income. At the year end, the second half dividend which you will receive, at that time you can check it is pre or post. But right now when interim dividend is received, straight away close your eyes and write in the dividend column. Okay. Sixth point. With respect to sale, please check. 500 shares sold at 18 per share on 1st December 21. So here I am writing sale on 1st December 21. How many shares we sold? 500. So tell me selling price. 500 shares sold at what price, my dear students? 18 rupees. Please check. 18 rupees. Okay. So 500 shares into 18. So 500 into 18, 9,000 we got. We got the amount, that is okay. But the important point to keep in mind, always calculate profit loss on sale. This is something student forget in the exam. Don't do that mistake now in the exam. Tell me, selling price you got 9,000 will be compared with cost. In the absence of information, weighted average cost, you will find out, compare your cost and get the profit or loss. Sir, please calculate once for us. Yes, why not? Children, tell me, here I'll write face value, here I'll write cost. Tell me, first I purchased 1000 equity shares whose face value is 10,000. at 15, so the cost was 15,000. Then some bonus shares given by the company, 500 bonus, so the face value 5,000 but the cost is nil. Then I received some right shares. I had just acquired 250, that is 2,500 face value, but this 250 shares acquired at some price 12, that is total 3,000 I paid, so the cost is 3,000. And the important point which students will forget in the exam is to write pre-dividend. Pre-dividend, tell me 1,000 dividend which you had received in the current year for last year, that will be adjusted against cost 1,000. Okay, so find out this is 10, 15, 17,500 face value, and what is the cost? 15,000, 3,000 minus 1,000, 17,000. You sold something in the market, you sold 500 shares, that is, can I say effectively 5,000 face value. Find out the related cost, 17,000 into 5,000 divided by 17,500. So the weighted average cost is 4,857. Is it clear? So here I am writing 4,857. Children, the cost is 4,857 and sold it for 9,000. Sold it for 9,000. So there is profit of 4,143. There is profit of 4,143. This is the profit which will go in profit and loss account, and investment value increased, hence investment value debit. Investment debit to PL. So do not forget to calculate profit or loss when the sale transaction is given, and in the absence of information follow weighted average. But if specific information is given, follow first in first out, then follow first in first out. Is it clear? Okay. Now the last point, 7th, valuation. My dear students, always it should be valued at cost or market price, whichever is lower. So here please find out the remaining amount is how much? 17,500 minus 5,000. It is 12,500 remaining face value. 17,000 is the cost. 4,857 subtracted, so 12,143. So your cost is 12,143. Cost is 12,143. Market price, you are having total how many shares? 1, 2, 5, 0 equity shares. And what is the valuation? Please check my example. 11 rupees is the market price. 11 rupees is the market price. So here multiplied by market price 11. So 1250 into 11, it's 13,750. Whichever is lower, so it should be valued at cost. Your cost is 12,143. Market price is 13,750. Whichever is lower, and therefore it should be valued at cost only. Hence no loss on valuation. No loss on valuation because we are valuing it at cost only. But my dear students, small point of discussion, if the cost is 100 but the market price is 80, so it should be valued at market price. It means now you have to reduce your cost by 20 rupees. So you will get loss on valuation 20 rupees, and the journal entry, it is loss, so PL account debit to investment account. Is it clear? And this point beautifully I have written at the end. See my 4th point in blue color, valuation of short-term investment. It should be valued at cost or market price, whichever is lower. If your market price is less than the cost, then the loss on valuation you have to recognize as per conservatism concept. And with this I am concluding thoroughly 100%. The student who is sincere for this wonderful theory, he or she, whether JKSC student or the non-JKSC student, is clear with the concept of investment accounting. If it is fixed income bearing security, please take care, cum interest price and ex interest price. I have taken already example. And if it is variable income bearing security, the whole sum with the help of example, I have discussed what you will do with the purchase, bonus, rights, last year dividend, interim dividend, when you sell, and what you will do when you are doing valuation when the market price is given. So if you refer only this much, guarantee your entire investment account chapter effectively conceptually is over. Please take the full advantage of it. Is it clear, my dear students? I hope you are getting everything. Okay, my dear students, so after discussing the entire investment account, now just what are the various important points in each question? The questions which are there in JK Shah classes material, please see. In classwork section, we have total 6 questions, and the points which you have to keep in mind before going to the exam. In question number 1, see the price they have given 97, but whether it is X interest or cum interest they have not given. As already mentioned, consider it as X interest price, correct? The second important point which you have to keep in mind to calculate closing accrued interest, my dear students, you have to calculate closing accrued interest, my dear students. Why, sir? Because the dates of interest are 31st March and 30th September, and you are following calendar year, that is 1st Jan to 31st December. So logically you will close your books of accounts on 31st December, but the last interest due date is 30th September. So for 3 months interest is accrued. So as per accrual concept, you have to calculate closing accrued interest. So always take care when you close your fixed income bearing security account. When you close your fixed income bearing security investment account, always take care to calculate closing accrued interest. Clear? Very important. In second question, the important point is, second question, to use first in first out method. Sir, first in first out? Yes. See, you were already holding 400 debentures. Then, my dear students, you purchase some 200 debentures. Then, my dear students, again purchase 200 debentures. So 400 you were holding, 200 purchase, then again 200 purchase, then you sold 300 debentures. Now use your brain and answer. 400 you were holding, 200 purchase, then 200 purchase. Now you are selling 300. This 300 will be sold from opening balance of 40. First in, first out. You have to take care. Okay. Question number 3 is important because of brokerage point. Brokerage point. Simple. If you purchase, then simply add brokerage, and if you are selling in the market, then subtract brokerage. That's it. That's it. So see over here, you are purchasing 24,000 face value at 90 and you have to pay 2% brokerage. So add brokerage in this cost. Then further, you are selling at 92x interest, subtract the brokerage. Clear? So here brokerage point is important. And my dear students, with this question number 3 discussion is done. Question number 4 is important because of November 30 transaction where conversion is there. Okay, sir, what to do when conversion comes? Simple. Debentures converted into equity. So debenture goes out. So investment in debenture credit and equity will come. So investment in equity debit. So your entry is simple, equity debit, debentures credit, but the students will forget this important point here, that is interest up to date of conversion. This students will forget. Everybody will convert properly, they will write the entry, but they will forget to calculate the interest on debentures converted up to the date of conversion. Take care this particular point. In question number 5, exactly similar to Sir's example. Exactly similar to Sir's example. If you remember, we have already taken the variable income bearing security entire question. Purchase, bonus, right, last year dividend, interim dividend, sale and valuation. The whole sum is based on this. Question number 6 is ICAI sum. Sometimes institute ask combo question, that is fixed plus variable. Is it clear? Not at all difficult, simple. See, this first part deals with fixed income bearing security. In that, opening balance, purchase and sale transactions are there. And the second table deals with variable income security, and which you already know how to deal with: purchase, bonus, right issue, dividend of last year, then sale, then interim dividend, and finally market price. We have already taken the example. Your concepts are clear. Just you have to go through. This is combo question. Clear? So my dear students, in classwork we have 6 questions. Important point I have discussed. In fixed income bearing security, take care, cum interest, ex interest and the accrued interest. If you are writing closing balance, then check for closing accrued interest. If you are writing opening, then check for opening accrued interest. Like in question number 2, one more point we can add. Here you have to check for opening accrued interest, plus you have to check for closing accrued interest. Clear? So 4 important points. In fixed income bearing security, cum interest, ex interest. When you close your ledger, closing accrued interest. When you write opening balance, opening accrued interest. Is it clear? 2 more important points. When brokerage comes, purchase, add, sale, minus. When conversion comes, make sure that up to the date of conversion you write interest entry. Clear? And in case of variable income bearing securities, few important points are: number 1, purchase, thereafter bonus, right, last year dividend, interim dividend, sale and the valuation. Take care when you bifurcate last year dividend in pre and post. Correct? Pre dividend is how much, post dividend is how much. Pre means what? During that period the investor was not owner, and hence that is capital receipt adjusted against cost. And post acquisition means what? Investor was owner during that period, and hence it is revenue income, and therefore it will go in dividend column. Okay, so they are the 6 questions of class work. Just I am writing here question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now those who are having JK Shah classes textbook, now we have printed their homework section and the past exam as well. So few references I am giving. Just for question number 1 there is no reference, it's very simple sum. For question number 2 there is first in first out, which is important point, and for that you can practice question number 16 of past exam, and you can practice question number 34 of past exam. Clear? Okay. Question number 3, the sum is important because of brokerage. So brokerage is everywhere, whether it is fixed income or variable income. If the purchase, then add; if sale, then subtract. Question number 4 deals with conversion. For this you can see question 26 of past exam. Question number 5 deals with variable income bearing securities. So here I have so many questions, like question number 7, 13 of homework, and question number 17, 23, 28, 29, 31, 36 of past exam. So many sums, and in every sum they are doing the same thing which we have already discussed through the example. Not at all difficult. Okay. And question number 6 is combo question where fixed plus variable both are there, and for this you can refer question number 18, question number 14 of homework, question number 22 and question number 30 of past exam. Okay, so my dear students, nothing more than this. If your 6 questions in that important point and my revision lecture is clear, you can answer all the sums carefully. Okay, but still for you I will discuss. My dear students, I am seeing few important question, 3 important question which institute had asked again and again in the same format. That is question number 9 of homework, second is question number 10 of homework, and next is question number 12 of homework. So many times institute has asked this format. I will show you the format, question 9, 10 and 12. But first I will give you reference of past exam. Question number 24, 32, 33. 32 done. This is 33 of past exam. This can be asked for 8 to 10 marks. For question number 10 you can refer question number 19, 21, 35 of past exam. Again for 8 number. And for question number 12 you can refer question 27 of past exam for 4 marks. This can be for 4 to 8 as well. Okay, but now entire summary is on the screen. What to do, what are the important questions I have given, but still quickly just I will discuss. Question 7 is simple sum. If you see here, its equity shares means variable income bearing security, purchase is given, bonus given, right issue is given. That's it. And how to deal with purchase, bonus and right issue, that you know. Question number 8 again deals with equity shares. Now here again if you check, purchase is there, here dividend is there last year, bonus is there, rights is there, interim dividend is there, here sale transaction is there, 95 sold. So tell me, this is similar to Sir's example. I have already taken example in my revision lecture. Correct? This you can manage. Allianz Limited. Okay. Question number 9, the favorite sum of institute. I have already given you the reference for question number 9. Just check. For question number 9, there are so many sums in similar format. The sum is simple. Debenture means fixed income bearing securities. Opening balance, purchase, sale, purchase, sale. You have to just check. It is X interest price, cum interest price, X interest price. Is it clear? Cost means what? X interest only. You have to take care. Brokerage you have to consider at the time of purchase, add the brokerage, at the time of sale subtract the brokerage. Another important point, you have to consider first in first out method. That is, when you are selling the debenture, the debentures which you had purchased first, that you have to sell first in first out. But in the absence of information, follow weighted average method. Okay, the favorite sum of institute. Next favorite sum is this one, ultra favorite sum. What is this? Purchase, equity shares. So variable income, purchase. Here brokerage is there, so at the time of purchase add the brokerage, and 50 paise per 100, that is 0.5%. Some stamp duty is there, so again on the basic cost you have to add that. Then bonus is declared 1:2, correct? Then 2 prices are given. Before the bonus in market the price was 75, and after the bonus the price in the market is 90. Then Mr. Krishnamurthy sold bonus shares, 2% brokerage. Think, Everybody, tell me 1000 shares purchased. Then 1:2 is the bonus, that is 500 bonus shares received. That is for free of cost. And the same bonus shares we are selling, 500 bonus sold. But at what price? But at what price? That is important. But at what price? See, before the bonus in market, the price was 175, and after the bonus, the price is 90. So you have to multiply this with 90 rupees. This you have to take care. Number second, at the time of sale, profit loss you have to calculate. Many a time, students, sir, bonus, we got it for free of cost. We are selling same shares. So entire amount which we receive through the sale proceed, that will be treated as profit. No, 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 no. Through the weighted average cost, find out the profit or loss, my dear students. Is it clear? Okay. Please take care of this. Question number 11. It's very simple. Combo sum, where bonds are there, where equity shares are there. You can manage. This is combo sum. Okay. Question number 12, the important favorite question of institute again. So 3 questions, 3 format I showed you right now. Number 1, question 9, number 2, question 10, and number 3, question number 12. What is here? Bull and bear, investor. One purchase transaction is given and one sale transaction is given. That's it. Brokerage you have to take care, and this is fixed income bearing security debenture. For 4 marks they ask this question. Maybe possible in your exam this comes. Correct. So you have to take care when you acquire the fixed income bearing security. Okay. When you will purchase, at that time please take care whether it is X interest or cum interest, and accordingly do the calculation. When you sell, take care whether it is cum interest or X interest, and at the time of sale do not forget to calculate profit or loss. So see, I have already given you the reference over here for question number 9, question number 10 and question number 12. These 3 important kind of questions, similar format, institute repetitively ask in the exam. So do the needful with the sums. Reference is already given. Okay. So question number 12 done. Question number 13, again variable income bearing security sum. They have given head. Head means what? Opening balance. Then they purchased some share 5,000. Bonus and rights will come. For the right, they have given this particular paragraph. Correct. Then dividend of last year, then the sale transaction, and every single content you know, because I have taken the full-fledged example to explain entire variable income bearing security. This brown is ICAI sum. This is combo sum, combo. You can say this is similar to question 6 of classwork, but this is institute sum. 12% bond and equity shares. So you have to prepare 2 investment account, one for fixed income bearing security, another one is for variable income bearing security. Okay. In the past exam, for 2 marks they are asking this question. In 2 minutes time you can answer. Simple. 1000 bonds we purchased. If you remember, I had taken example 1 X interest price, example 2 cum interest price. This is cum interest price question. 1000 bond face value 195 cum interest. Okay. So when you will purchase fixed income bearing, you have to make payment for 2 things. Cost is how much, interest is how much. Over here 1000 bonds you have acquired at 95, but this is cum interest price. So you have to divide interest is how much and X interest is how much. That's it. Okay. Question number 16, this is debenture sum. This is very simple sum, similar to, you can say, question number 1 of classwork. Very simple sum where hold they have given, that is opening balance. Please take care when you are writing opening balance, always check for opening accrued interest, always check for that. Okay. Thereafter they have purchased, then they sold, again purchased, then they sold. So simple, opening balance, purchase sale transaction they have given, and they are saying first in first out method you have to follow. First in first out means question number 2 of classwork. Okay, this is simple. Question number 17, which is similar to question 7 of homework. Question 7 of homework, variable income bearing security, equity shares, one purchase, one bonus and right issue. You know this. Brown is repeated sum. Question number 19. Question number 19, please check. Mr. T purchased some shares, okay, brokerage 2%, 50 paise, if you remember this sum we have already discussed, 0.5% stamp duty you have to pay, okay. Then you will get some bonus shares and you will sell same bonus shares in the market. At what price? Before the bonus 175 was there, and after getting the bonus shares the price in the market reduced to 90. So you can sell your bonus shares at 90. Institute's favorite sum. See, question number 19 reference I have already given here. Check. Check. Question number 19. Similar kind of sums they are asking in the exam. So why not to study only one question thoroughly of such kind, and we are ready. So question number 19 we have discussed. Question number 20, this bull and bear we have already discussed. This is repeated sum. See, bull and bear. Bull and bear, here in homework section we had done this. See, bull and bear. Question number 12, so that is repeated sum. I have cancelled it. Question number 20. Then 21, see again bonus sum, simple, 800 equity purchased, then bonus will be given. Before the bonus price is 110, after the bonus 60, and sold bonus shares 5% brokerage. When you will sell your bonus shares, you will sell at 60 rupees. Smart investment, similar to question 6 of classwork. This is combo sum. You can answer this all sums if the introduction given by me is clear in your mind. Question number 23, similar to question number 7 of homework, where one purchase of equity share, then bonus, then some right issue. Similar type of sums they are asking. See question 24, favorite sum of institute. We saw this sum, opening, purchase, sale, purchase, market price is given, brokerage, purchase, brokerage, add, sale, minus, and you have to follow first in first out method, okay. Question 25, Allianz Limited, this sum we saw, this is repeated sum. Question 26, convertible debenture, this is similar to question 4 of classwork, and you have to take care over here, interest up to date of conversion, see, conversion of 25% debentures. For 8 marks they ask this. Question 27, like bull and bear, here blue and black are there. Like bull and bear, one purchase and one sale transaction is there. Correct. For 4 marks they are asking this sum, favorite sum of institute. See question number 27, you want to see, I have given already reference, check over here. Question 27, bull and bear, blue and black, same sums, similar. Then question number 28, variable income bearing security sum, simple. What we have over here, Ashok had, so some opening shares are there, correct. Opening shares, then we acquired, that is purchase, then bonus, then rights, then dividend of last year, then sale transaction, and finally valuation. For 8 marks we have already discussed entire question through the example. This is important, Vijay. Why this sum is important? To understand pre is to post dividend. Pre is to post dividend. In the pre period, how much dividend we will charge, and in the post period, that is in the dividend column, how much we will charge. So see, they have given date of purchase. Consider this date of purchase on, and on that basis pre and post bifurcation you have to do. Correct? Question number 30 is combo sum, similar to question number 6 of class work, where bonds they have given and equity shares they have given. Okay, so this combo question even you are getting repetitively, so at least one combo question you solve thoroughly, you will get it everything. Question number 31 exactly similar to question 5 of class work, plus similar example sir has discussed, like variable income bearing security. The entire example I have discussed 8 number. See question 33, favorite question of the institute, again opening, purchase, sale, purchase, market price, consider FIFO method. The brokerage point is not there, 8 marks. Exactly similar sum, question 33, same. See, opening balance, purchase, sale, market price, brokerage is there, they are saying follow FIFO method. Correct? Fixed income bearing security. Question number 34, government securities, that is fixed income bearing security. Held means what? Some opening debentures are there, take care for opening accrued interest. Whenever in the fixed income bearing security you write opening balance and the closing balance, take care for opening accrued interest and closing accrued interest. So here after the opening balance, purchases are there. Thereafter, my dear students, on 1st June securities sold they have given. Then further they have given on 30th September again sold, then lastly purchased. Okay, here you have to follow first in first out. Always check your question. If the question says follow first in first out, then follow first in first out. Correct? And JK Shah classes students, you already know we have solved question number 2 of classwork based on first in first out. Okay, question number 35. Question number 35, dear children, similar sum, bonus. We purchased, we got some bonus shares. Before the bonus the price 75 and after 92.5 bonus shares sold and received 90 per share. Now this time they have given 90 rupees. So instead of 92 consider 90. Okay. Last question number 36, simple variable income bearing security sum. Head means opening balance of equity shares, then purchase. Similar type of sums are coming. See, purchase, bonus, right, no dividend payable on issue. See, this is important point. That is logically interim dividend we should receive on purchase, bonus, right, everything. But here they are saying no dividend payable on this issue. That is right issue. Then dividend of last year. Then my dear students, we sold half of the shareholding, sale transaction, over. So my dear students, conclusion I am giving, conclusion, total 36 questions are there. Every important point we have discussed, but it is my humble request, please focus over here. Focus over here. These 3 sums, question number 9, for fixed income bearing security sum table and first in first out you have to follow. This bull and bear sum. And this one, question number 12, that bonus issue. I think question number 10 is bonus and this is bull and bear. Correct? Please answer these 3 questions carefully and you are ready. Correct? So with this, my dear children, the entire investment account revision is done, meaning then types, recognition in fixed income bearing, variable income bearing, and valuation. All the important points in 36 questions of the JK Shah classes material, whether it is classwork, homework and past exam, we have discussed. I hope you will get best out of it you will study very hard and you will attempt a question from this particular chapter very well so that you can get entire number in the exam. All the very best. Goodbye. Thank you so very much.